Okay, so welcome everyone. It's February. The groundhog saw his shadow.
Mm.
I've had enough winter. Thank you very much.
Yes.
For those that live in Florida, it's supposed to be warm, but yes, it snowed in Tampa a couple days ago. Um, yeah, nothing I haven't seen before, but I'm done with the cold. That's why I moved to Florida, right? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our speaker this evening. Um, Andrea McCray. She's a community leader, cultural curator, and strategic visionary whose work centers on transforming history, heritage, and human experience into meaningful collective impact. With a focus on leadership, legacy, and love, she brings people together to honor the past, strengthen the present, and build pathways for the future. Andrea is known for designing elevated community experiences, initiatives, and engagements that blend storytelling, cultural preservation, and organizational strategy. At the heart of her mission is a simple but powerful community commitment to ensure every story is seen, every voice is valued, and every legacy is carried forward with intention and grace. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me. So do I jump right in?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, good
floor's all
evening.
yours.
Good evening, Rotary E-Club. I'm going to start off with a few facts. I have a presentation here. I can email that to you all. I'm working on my iPad, and then I have this on my computer. But our biggest project is our historic Crystal Memorial Garden Cemetery. It was established in 1884, about 3 years before Citrus County was formed. It sits on 2 parcels of land, over 5 acres, and we have over 540 known grave sites. The issue with that is it was a community, well, it still is a community grave site, so there was no dedicated caretaker. So it was just a place that people buried their relatives, basically. So long story short, I personally got involved. We lost my niece at the age of 28 about 4 years ago.
Oh.
And just very tragic. And my sister wanted her buried next to our parents, who are all there. My parents, my grandparents, my great grandparents, a ton of relatives are there. And the cemetery wasn't abandoned, but it needed a lot of work. So my family tried to clean it. And the one parcel that's active for burials is 3.17 acres. So it was too daunting of a task for our family. So we tried to organize a community cleanup. Long story short, there's a board that's been in place since 1976. And again, not speaking from judgment, it's just, I think they just didn't know what to do. So we could talk about who shot John, who did this. It just wasn't taken care of. So in April of 2023, we formed a nonprofit organization called the Friends of Crystal Memorial Garden Cemetery. So now we have 2 nonprofits. We have my organization, the Friends of, and then we have the actual cemetery board that was formed in 1976. And that was formed in 76 because when the cemetery was established in 1884, it was deeded it to the community. They had this community board who is basically sat inactive since 1976. So that's kind of the history of how we came about. So, but here's the thing. No one knew that the cemetery was historic until we got involved. A cemetery is deemed historic on 3 factors: due to the age, unique architectural features, and the notable individuals buried there. So I come in because my grandmother, the church that the cemetery was originally given to, was called Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church. It is the oldest Black church in Citrus County, and it predates the county. So my grandmother was at the church there for 50 years. So I heard her special. Now we have everyone in the cemetery, but I have the most comprehensive collection of obituaries available because there were no records. I'm not sure if you all are aware, but cemeteries were segregated, so the Black people couldn't be buried with the white people. That's why it's a traditionally African American cemetery, and the church is traditionally African American. So the cemetery this year will be 142 years old. The oldest is Charlie Horn Watkins from 1828 to 1890. We have one, Queen Fleming, March 17, 1852. And this good condition is a marble one with Lucy Horton from 1818 to 1919. And I also want to point out, in 1818, Florida wasn't even a state. It was still under Spanish occupation as Spanish territory.
Wow.
I just recently found that out. I didn't know that either. So I do want to point out and say that our mission was just to clean the cemetery. But with cleaning it over the last 3 years, we've discovered so many issues caring for the cemetery. So I'll roll into that a little bit later. The unique architectural features. Before, there were like the marble headstones. There was a gentleman by the name of Clarence Brooks who lived from 1916 to 2002. He handcrafted several of the headstones in his shed for his family. So there's a plot of maybe 30 headstones, and they have pebbles in them, and they have a triangular top and a handwriting. Clarence made all of those. And again, we just recently found that out maybe a year ago. So those are unique to our cemeteries because they're handcrafted by him. And then the notable figures, because I have the obituaries, we have in education and community. And these are people who lived in our community, in the medical field, in the business, the first Black city councilman in Citrus County. So all of our notable people who are African-American are buried there. So we have a list of those as well.
Wow.
Not give you everything. In 2024, we launched what's called our Martin Luther King Gala, and the proceeds from that fund our cemetery because there's no funding mechanism. So with the first one, we raised nearly $10,000, and we produced a strategic plan, a cemetery maintenance plan. We took an archaeology course. We hosted several community visioning meetings. We implemented an annual Memorial Day Veterans Remembrance Ceremony. And we partnered with the Citrus County Historical Society to update our Citrus County African-American history because African-Americans had been written out of the history in Citrus County. And we still partner with them as going forward as well. So, and with that money, we also did the first topical and a topical and topographic survey, a boundary survey, which the cemetery had never had. So we had always been told there were 10 acres. We found 5.17 acres. So that was another discrepancy that we were able to straighten out with history. But also leading to that, the cemetery now we've discovered has a huge flooding issue. So let's do something else. We now have to mitigate this flooding issue that's causing severe damage to the cemetery.
Oh, God.
Yes. So we have a list of projects. The flood mitigation, we have to do ground penetrating radar and software. So because there was no caretaker and there are no formal records, there's a large field on the southeast quadrant that's grass. We've now discovered that those are actually sunken grave sites. So with the regular cleaning we've been doing, we started discovering that there were sunken graves of varying degrees. So some might be buried under maybe 3 inches, some may be buried under 6 inches, some may be under a foot. So depending on the slope of the cemetery, kind of depends on how badly sunken the grave sites are. Yeah. And we had one pass of GPR in that field, and in that one pass in that one line was 25 grave sites. So we know of right now of about 50 sunken grave sites. So we have to have that whole area of the open areas GPR because they're too large to probe by hand. So there may be more than the 540 that we know of.
Wow.
So last July, we were appropriated $81,000 from the state. And so that will take care of our ground penetrating radar. We're going to do some documentation. We're working now with families to collect obituaries from them because, again, there were no formal records. So we'll take the obituaries that I have and start working with the families to collect, to create hopefully an archive of who's out there. And we'll never know because a lot of times people bury people, right? We don't know where they're buried and we'll never know. So we'll just mark those with the unknown headstone.
Aren't there family Bibles?
Okay, can I be frank? What's your name?
Suzanne.
Suzanne. Florida was one of the last places to integrate. Florida was also one of the last places to be educated. Our county is very rural. They're not very educated. So where there might be a family Bible, and I have to tell you, as a little girl being with my grandmother, she was the clerk and she had a master's degree and happened to be Black, right? So as a little girl, I was from home to home. They didn't tell me they couldn't read. So even when
but people record in Bibles. That's why I'm asking that question.
A lot of them couldn't read is what I'm trying to tell you nicely.
Yeah,
they're not going to tell
minister
you.
Or somebody would have recorded.
Right. So that's where my grandmother came in as the clerk. That's what I'm telling you. They weren't going to tell you they were illiterate.
Yeah.
When my grandmother went to school here, education only went up to 8th grade. She had to go to Ocala to the neighboring and beg her parent. There is so much history that's been left out. They don't tell you. There was no education. They didn't know any better.
No, I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying, but I'm saying to you that there are many different places where people record and keep information, not only in their heads, but also sometimes on a
I'll take
document.
that note, but we haven't found that to be true in our community.
Yeah.
Let me say it to you that way. We haven't found that to be true in our community.
I'm from Germany, and we
Okay.
have a lot of, we lost a lot of things too over wars, but there are, that's where a lot of stuff is recorded.
Okay. And then with our old people passing away, we're losing a lot of the knowledge.
Of course.
Yes. So we're in a real fight with time trying to capture that. But I made a note. I'll check. But
Yeah.
in,
I mean,
in our case,
it's another option. It's
Yes.
another possibility.
yes, we'll check. But we haven't found. I'll just say that I have my great grandfather's Bible. He
Yeah.
went to 3rd grade. There's nothing in it.
No, but people keep a
Yes.
book, even if
Yes.
they can't read. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
It's a holy
yes.
book. And so for
Yes.
them, that's important to pass on if you have one.
Right. So in our culture, everything was verbal.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
But I'll check.
Yeah.
I'll check. Like I said, we didn't
I'm
find
from the
it.
fairy tale land. We
Okay.
talk too. Okay.
Okay, right, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I found. Just like when I checked with all the churches for obituaries, they didn't realize the importance of saving them. No one had them. That's what I'm saying. They didn't realize the importance of saving the documentation. It wasn't important because education, nobody had anything. So now we're just starting to get obituaries. It's taking this long, but we're going to keep working on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to this. There used to be an arch there, so we're going to work on restoring the arch. There needs to be a fence and a gate. That's a project. So we have lots of projects forthcoming, but right now it's the documentation we need to get together, the GPR, some restoration processes from the damage that's been done, and a National Historic Marker installation. A Florida Historical Marker installation is what we're going to work on right now. Those are like our projects. Oh, and the flood mitigation plan. So in the next 6 months, we'll be working on those.
I have another question because
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have a very different way of burying in Europe. And I'm wondering if when you talk about sunken graves, are you talking about vaults? Do
No,
you all-
ma'am.
No.
Well, they call it a vault. So how they do it now, they put the casket in like a cement.
I know.
vault.
I've
Yeah.
done all that
They cover-
research
Okay.
because we rent graves to people and we pack down and we lease a grave. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
in Germany, you have your whole family in there. And if you give up the grave, somebody else is going to use it and pack down.
Wow.
But there is no metal. Everything is, decomposing.
Okay. So I'm going to say this is new. Again, our mission was just to clean up the debris in the grass.
I was saying, what were you looking for? Are you looking for bodies? Are you looking for vaults for, when something sinks, it can be that, that container for the container, which is
Well, some of
foreign
the
to
old-
me from
Well,
Germany.
what we were learning is some of the older graves, they couldn't afford anything. So what we look for is like disturbance in the ground with the archaeologists. You can tell when the ground's been disturbed.
Sure.
And then when there's a vault, the GPR sends back like a box. You can see the box.
Yeah, of course.
And like 25. But some like the one man we know, he remembers his dad, just the bones being in the ground, and he remembered where that spot was. There was no vault back then for him.
Well, but Muslim and Jewish graves also they're not all that stuff.
Okay.
There's, there's a lot less than what you're expecting.
Okay, right.
So, yeah.
So we're just trying to work with people, my grandfather's buried here, or my dad, because by memory, and just make sure we mark it and make a note. There's not even a map because it's just where people buried their people. Again,
Sure.
we're not judging. They just didn't know any better. And we're trying to collect that information and put it together as best as we can so we can preserve history going forward.
Yeah. That's
So
great.
it's become a challenge. Like I said, we were just
Well,
trying
it's
to
a nice challenge.
we were just trying to clean the cemetery, but there's lots of challenges that we've come up against.
Yeah.
So, and the latest is the flooding issue. We're in a floodplain. No one realized we're in a floodplain. As the city grows up around us and they elevate everything 3 feet to get the flooding, our cemetery takes on more and more water. So that's pushing the grave sites further down into the ground. So we've got to mitigate the flooding because we're not going to relocate 540 grave sites. So we did our first cemetery headstone cleaning last year with an approved biological solution. I told you we identified 25 potential sites were located when we did the first round of GPR. We do quarterly cemetery cleanups that are just successful. Everybody from the community comes out. We have maybe 30 to 40 people come out to help do our cleanups. with our partnerships. We attend the Florida Legislative Days with the Chamber of Commerce, and we were awarded the $81,000 for the state appropriation. So we're moving forward. Let's see what else I can tell you about. We've documented the historical Black families of Citrus County. And again, it's a work in progress from obituaries and family information. We do some excavation because as they sink and people know where the graves are, the vault, to unearth them because they're covered over with earth. And some of them don't have headstones. So just might be a little paper tag. So we're working to keep those cleaned up so that they don't keep sinking. That's really about it. I mean, it's quite busy and we're all volunteers. So it's quite a challenge.
Do you collect all that information on a website so that people can
Yes.
add to it or look at it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We have a website. It's www.friendsofcmgcemetery.com. And then we do a gala. This was our third gala we just had this past weekend that raises funds to support our efforts.
So it's what you're doing, have you noticed it becoming a model?
You know what? Yes, it has. It has, because apparently, from what I'm understanding, there's a lot of old grave sites in the same condition as ours. And again, it's not judging people. I don't think just knew any better. So I get a lot of phone calls. Well, how are you doing this? How are you doing this? How are you raising? Because they're not funded. So yes, ma'am, I will say we're the model. And then when we took the class with the Florida Public Archaeology Network, they said we're ahead of 95% of people doing this. So with our strategic plan and the modeling and the fundraising that we're doing and how we're going about to preserve this. So, and we advocate very hard for our cemetery.
Congratulations for spearheading that. It's very important.
Thank you.
And can you let the people in the group here know about how Rotary was a part of your gala and what role Rotary played with what you're doing?
Well, Rotary was not necessarily involved in this one, but in the last one, Rotary was a financial contributor, as a sponsor of our last one. So, and that helps us, like I said, year round. I mean, let me just say this. When we do our community cleanups, the community is built when you work together and then when you eat together. So every time we do a community cleanup, we're out there with rakes and shovels and sweat and water and the heat, but we always serve our community a full meal. So it's become well known that that's what we do. That's how we feed our people. They work hard. We're not paying people, but we have a full meal. So that's what our funds go towards, maintaining the cemetery and taking care of our people. So that's what Rotary did last year. They were a financial contributor to our 501c3.
That's what it should be. It should be a community coming together.
Yes. Yes. And it's not a racial thing. Let me say this is not a racial thing. Citrus County is only 2.68% Black. At its highest, it was 33% Black, the county was. And this is where they buried their people. So most of the people have moved on or left. Mm-hmm. So it's just a small percentage of us trying to keep this going, right? So it's a whole community effort that comes together to help us. I mean, we have the fire department in Crystal River. We have an engineering firm that stepped up to help us. It's like we have no money, but Howard Civil Engineering has stepped up to help us with the flood mitigation plan. We have a Gulf Archaeologic Institute that's helped us. So we have a lot of partners that have helped to step up, and it's been a beautiful model for community. Even the gala, I mean, we had probably 200 people Saturday come to support. Just absolutely marvelous that come to support.
Nice.
So it's truly a community event.
Nice. Any other questions?
Yeah, I think you should make it known when you have a cleanup day and maybe invite people that are in your area to come and do that with you.
That's exactly what we do. We plaster it everywhere. Everybody's invited, and we have a mailing list. It's on Facebook. We have, like I said, everyone knows. Our partners, yes, ma'am. It's a pretty big deal. The kids from the high school come. Boy Scout troops. We have a partnership with the Boy Scouts.
Nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Because they all need volunteer hours. Don't forget.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They do. And I'll be honest, the kids can do, like when we do the gravesite, the headstone cleaning, down there on the knees and the scrubbing. The kids are great for that. So yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, really.
Anytime you have a get together like that, a community event, please let me know. Send the information. I do the bulletin, and I'd be more than happy to put it on our bi-weekly.
Okay, thank you.
bi-monthly
I surely
bulletin.
will. I surely will. And our next cleanup is scheduled for February 28th, Saturday, February 28th.
Okay,
And I'll let you know. I'll send you the
perfect.
flyer.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? I'm not sure if you're interested. I can send you the PowerPoint with the information I just gave. I went through it kind of quick, but we have a PowerPoint.
Yes. Oh, please do it. I'll add that to the bulletin also.
Okay.
Yeah, and add the website so you
And the
have the
website.
URL on there, Alicia, you know.
Okay. And I'll send the flyer for the cleanup.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, of course, being in the E-Club, a lot of our members are throughout the country, throughout the world.
Okay.
You know, my father's part of the club. He's up in Bowling Green, Ohio. He
Okay.
probably will not, you know, come down for the cleanup, but you know, what I like is if, you know, if this is what you're doing as a model and it carries, it's going to start carrying across the state and across the country. That's how we can get, you know, a lot of our other Rotarians involved. We have 24 members in our club. That the last count I did, you know, feet on the ground represented upwards to at least a dozen different districts, you know, just throughout the country. So
Well, I think it's fantastic. And we just loaded the pictures from the gala so they can see. We're already planning next year's gala. They may want to come around for the cemetery.
It's so interesting. I just buried my mother a year or so ago
Sorry.
in Germany, and I told you we lease graves, so it's less and less of this. So the cemeteries are emptying out. It's interesting. There are a lot of old monuments, but there are a lot of people who go into the woods. There are what we call they're wooded cemeteries. In other words, people are picking a tree. This is where I want to be. There's no path. There's no. It's just nature, and so they're actually trying to make themselves invisible, whereas you are doing the opposite. You want to make visible, and so
Yes.
it's ironic in a way. And one lady told me, well, when I'm old enough to go visit my husband or, you know, family in this kind of woods, there's not a path for my walker. I can't even get there. So it's more of a disconnect and more of an, you know, not footprint in nature.
Right.
People are doing that as well. But a lot of these are cremations, of course, you know, so.
Let me share this with you. Because we were written out of history and there are lessons of love that were passed on. We see a breakdown in our communities. We see a breakdown in our families, but a lot of us were not raised that way. So the people who loved us and poured into us, most of them are in the cemetery. So the cemetery, if you will, has kind of been a hallmark. They're dead, they're not coming back. But if we take the lessons of love and leadership and legacy, and that was our theme this year, we have to move it forward, right? My mom's not coming back. My grandmother's not coming back. But those lessons of love and leadership and legacy, we have to move those forward. So what we did this year is we took the images and made a memorial wall of panels. And that kind of galvanized the community. Oh, well, what about this person? Yes, remember the lessons and the love they poured because our community needs to come together. And that's how we're using it in a sense, if you will. They're together in the cemetery, but taking those lessons of love, moving it forward is how we're using it. So
you're building community and history.
Yes.
I understand that. In my family, we're all very disjointed because my father was in the Foreign Service, so we moved all the way around the world. And
yes,
so my brother ended up in Switzerland with an Irish wife, so her family is buried in Ireland. I have no idea where he wants to go. And I'm in the United States, so you know, this grave, we're going to have to give it up because we're not going to go there anymore.
Wow.
And we don't have that much offspring to do that kind of community. But you're right. Cemeteries, my father always took a picture at, you know, the graveside. For him, it was really, really important. And you know, for us, it's not so much. So it all depends. It'll come back.
Yes. And what we're finding is now that we're caring for it, people are coming back wanting to be buried with their family. So we're having more and more burials because they're coming back wanting to, because they see that we're taking care of it. So we were seeing that, I'll call it that community pride coming back. It's taking a while to rebuild, but it's happening slowly, that the people are galvanizing. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any other questions? Can I answer anything else?
Yeah, when you have new people come in there, will they be and included in your system of identification and storytelling?
Yes, okay, so our plan this year is to, once we do the GPR, they're also gonna do, I can't think of some GIS location of the graves. And then
Mhm.
we'll take the obituaries that we have and we'll be purchasing some documentation software. And then we'll work closely. So we're not responsible for the burials. The actual cemetery board is. And we work closely with them. So then we'll update. Yes, so as people are buried, we'll be able to update our systems with the information so we can start a directory and make that information available. And just to give
So
you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
that's included in the genealogy of that community, the
Yes, it
way
will
that you're
be.
doing it.
It will be because we don't have anything right now. Just to give you an example of the disjointed, the actual cemetery board for the cemetery, they have nothing. There's not a phone number. There's not a website. So people will find our website and contact us about a burial. And then I have to call the other board and say, would you please call Mr. Such and Such back? He has a question. They don't have anything because they haven't done anything since 1976. So we just have to work closely with them. They're older. They've never done it. And I think they're just intimidated by the amount of work. They don't have anybody to contact anybody. So the people usually end up contacting me and I contact them and they follow up. It's just what it is right now. So we just work with what we have.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Deb, you had a
If you
question?
could, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I think it'd be nice if you started a storytelling project, if you found stories about people that were there.
Yes, it's come up several times. And just so you know, our historical society wants to do that as well. We have a historical society. They've mentioned it several times, but I made a note here.
Yeah, unmute Deb.
And then we do produce a book every year. So I've got when I
Oh,
mentioned
there we are.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
have two questions.
Yes, ma'am.
University of Florida
Mm-hmm.
has an Engineers Without Borders group,
Okay.
and they have helped on some of our Rotary projects.
Okay.
They're really, really a nice group of young people. I'm wondering if they can help you with that water issue that you have.
Okay.
If there was some way they could redirect the water so that it wouldn't hit the cemetery.
Well, thankfully we have a civil engineer on board. Howard Civil Engineering
Perfect.
has stepped up, and they're international, but he is committed and he signed on. And we have a flood mitigation. So yes, we have to lower the water table, and he's already told us we have to put the pipes in the ground,
Nice.
and the water has to be drained off. And that's why I said we're not going to relocate 500 bodies.
Oh,
We have to
yeah.
lower the water table, and he's going to work with the county. There's right of way land. I told you we're in a floodplain.
Super.
So we can't, dig up
Yeah.
bodies. But Howard Civil Engineering has volunteered to
Oh,
work
that's
with us.
great.
So
Uh,
he signed on as a strategic partner.
Also, I'm really close to Washington, D.C., and one of the
Okay.
things that they have at some of the memorials where older people can go and record facts about their lives and things that they lived through during the wars. I'm
Mhm.
wondering if something like that in your cemetery would be very helpful when people come to visit your cemetery. They could actually record, and have a record
No, that
of,
would be great. Could you tell me a little bit more about it? I mean, because they come all the time.
it's
Is it like an area, like a patio area that they
it's
come?
kind of like a booth,
Okay.
and it's at one of the World War II memorials in DC. And it just allows people to record, and it keeps it in an archive.
Okay.
But something like that would be wonderful, especially if you have a list of the families that
Mhm.
are in the cemetery, to have people come and share stories and a little bit of the history of that family.
Mhm. Well, I made a note. I'll look into that just because as we move to our next phase, that's a great idea because everybody comes home when we bury a family, right?
Exactly.
Because like I said, we're 2.68%, but when there's
Yeah.
a burial, everybody comes home for the
Yeah.
cemetery. So that's a good idea. Thank you. As well as the Sordium project. So that might go something hand in hand.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I got another idea, and this is something that I saw at Cemetery down in Key West, is an entity sold actually family bricks.
Yes, we have that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
I've got it. It's a project. Yes.
That would be great.
Yeah,
Yes.
it memorializes, it gives money to the entity. So yeah, good way for people to go back and visit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got our brick program sitting in there. Our goal was to launch it at one of the galas, but it's not there. But the brick is sitting in there for the program to start.
Nice.
Yes. We talked about doing like maybe a memorial patio, or if there's like a
Yeah.
directory, having it
Yeah.
there like the entryway to
Yeah.
it. So yep, it's on our list.
So what else do you feel that you're in need of as far as people coming to help, things that need to be done? Saying that this might be cool, but we don't have the resources or the people yet. Is what do you think, like list wise?
You know, I tell people we take time, talent, or treasure. Um, you know, because it's not always about money. I mean, I know you're not here, but we do 3 quarterly cleanups a year. We have a Memorial Day ceremony. We do the gala, and like I said, we're all volunteers, so it's quite a bit of work. But there's the back end. There's research, right? There's the genealogy. We just finished up the gala that was Saturday, and now I'm going into getting ready with all the state stuff. There's a lot of paperwork that has to happen. And again, I'm not complaining, but we started cleaning the cemetery, so I've had to come up to speed on archaeology. And I'm picks up steam, and now the community after 3 years is starting to get what we're doing. I'm not going to the cemetery cleaning up just at my mom's spot. We're taking care of the whole
Yeah.
cemetery. So it took a while for the community to wrap their minds around what was happening,
Mhm.
right? This is not a Black issue, right? This is a community issue because the cemetery is historic. It's actually a county treasure and a state treasure. So it took a while for our community to understand that this is a community thing. It's not a little Black problem or a family problem. So there's a lot of moving pieces to this puzzle that we're working. So it's not necessarily about money. Volunteers, like I said, the events. Hey, just support. If you want to just share the flyer, you know, just solidarity. There's lots of ways, right? So.
You know, has anyone mentioned anything about creating family trees?
No, ma'am. I've looked at it, but no, ma'am. We haven't talked about it with us.
You know, if you could get one representative for every family you have in the cemetery, I wonder if you could start, you know, having the family trees created. And that way, when people come to visit, you know, they could see their family tree as well as provide more information that you may not have in that family tree yet.
I'm gonna tell me your name, ma'am.
Deb Connolly.
Deb Connolly. Okay, so Deb, I'm gonna tell you something socioeconomically, which is why we have a lot of problems in our area. Traditionally, it was low socioeconomic. All of the households we knew, all of the men except for one family we could say were unfaithful. So that's part of the problem. We didn't have any sororities, we didn't have any fraternities, we didn't have any Masonic lodges. All we had was the church. And
Yeah.
that's the source of the division. But in the church, all of the men cheated. Yes, ma'am. So this is why we don't have a community, right? There can't be any common unity because the people did things and they put the church's name on it. And what was really mad about Miss Potato Salad was mad that Miss Cauliflower was sleeping with her husband. So this is why, and this is the hurt that took over.
Yeah.
I know who my parents are. I wasn't raised that way. And so you have so much hurt and vitriol. And what
Yeah.
they did was they broke up everything. So just like we did the gala, we don't have any artists. We don't have any choirs. We don't have any poets, because where people should have been building, they spent the last 30 years destroying. There's nothing left. So you find us in the cemetery, right? With the common, that's why we have to go. We were given love, we were given legacy, we were given leadership. But those people who led those, they all died. And what's left now is the remnants of the people who were fighting, and you can't build anything with the vitriol. So we're having to go back. So we started cleaning the cemetery, and then we started serving I told you, the meal when we worked together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started the gala. Now everybody's finally getting, oh, we have to work together. Yes, if we're going to have a community.
Yeah.
I've been back home 20 years, and I'm 52. I'm not 2 years old. I'm 52. I know what happened. I'm here. And they were beating each other up because the church, right? And so in the cemetery, when we die, everybody's going there. So this was the first time when we did the memorial panels that you saw the faces of these people together, because when they were alive, there were all these divisions, and the divisions were, this church person didn't talk to just church person, but it wasn't the church. This person was mad because Mr. Bo Peep was sleeping with Helen, and Helen was sleeping with OH, and Bo Peep and OH were married to Hazel and Mary.
Yeah.
That was the source that nobody wanted to talk about, that ran rapid in this community, and they put it on church. So the churches, and these are all Black people, kept the people divided, and nobody looked up to say, what are we doing? So they see a model of love. No, I'm being honest with you. So they're seeing a model of love, and they're seeing the success happening, right? With, you don't have to see my documents, but it's the first time in probably 30 years they've seen something successful in this community that they were not able to break up. But the breakups were happening because they were saying it was church, but it was the people in the church doing things, but nobody wanted to be honest about what was happening. It was their behavior. So we're in a position. That's what.
No, not at all.
But only love bills, right? So it's fellowship, it's community. We have one gentleman that works for the fire department. I love fire trucks. I ride in the fire truck for parades. Mm-hmm. He's in our community. He's been 40 years and was named we've got to do better. Matriarchs. We honored our retired team. It's supposed to be the blessing. This happened. I think she fell ill Tuesday, and the gala was Saturday. So it's becoming real, right? We've got to do better as a community and quit the vitriol and quit the fight. It's time to put this hurt stuff down. And we've got to move forward. So I think they're starting to get it, right? The sad part is we had to start with the cemetery.
And they see you. You're the example. Of what they can have if they reach out and start teaming.
Yes,
basically.
But I know, because I've been home for 20 years, and they did the same thing to me. They did the same thing to my mother. They did the same things to my grandmothers.
Yeah.
Because I'm the little girl with them listening, but they talked in code. But I survived. And so now that I survived, and they see all the wonderful things that are happening, they realize, oh, we've been left. So now you see the people trying to come around and be nice, because now guess what? They were left behind. The gala is stellar. The cemetery is happening. We've been to Tallahassee twice. We're in Tallahassee with the leaders. It's never happened in their lifetime.
Unbelievable.
We're doing things that people could only dream of, but it's been available to them the whole time. But you can't do it if you're fussing and fighting and beating one another. So it is a big model for community. So it was clean in the cemetery, but it's really blossomed into leadership, legacy, and love.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Really.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You know, this is really great.
Yeah, and I will tell you this. I've tried to move. I was supposed to be here just for 2 days, just so you know. And my grandmother was sick with dementia, but I didn't know it was this level. So 2 days has turned into 20 years. My mom has passed from stage 4 colon cancer. My they're all in the cemetery. And every time I tried to move, I'm still here. Get it now. That's much bigger, but it's restoring joy. Not that I had to do it, right? But again, I think
Yeah.
the light, right? The light. And then he's sending
Exactly
others, right? Now they're asking questions, right? Yeah. Now they're pictures. Oh, I want some of that joy. I want some of that light, right?
That's great.
So sharing the love, as I call it. Yeah. Okay. Well, do we have any other questions?
No, can you just give
No?
us a bonus about the
Okay.
cakes and the cupcakes? You just
Oh, yes. Let me tell you. It is a bonus. So my great grandmother, her name is Mary Gray Bunch. She was born in 1887, I think. I'd have to look it up. It's in the book. She is the original cake lady of Crystal River. So she raised my mother and she raised my uncle. My uncle owns a restaurant here called Oysters. If you're ever here, he makes the best fried chicken you will ever eat. But I have to tell you, he's 71 now. So you got to come soon if you're coming. And so I started cooking with my mom at the age of 3 in the kitchen. So people saw me, they didn't think I could cook. But again, it goes back to community. They didn't know who my people were. So I made little, and I'm not boasting, but the best gourmet cakes. Everything is handcrafted. And I'm a couture cake designer. So I make all these fancy designs and it's cake, not fondant. So that's why they're very good and they're high end. So I also do that as well. Been baking since I was 3 with my mom.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, cakes, cheesecakes, designer cakes, wedding cakes. Yeah. So
Wow.
I do that as well.
can you send that link to Alicia when you send your information?
Sure. Yeah. Cookies. Yeah, cookies.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw the cake you did for the Beverly Hills.
That
Council.
that was a little nothing. That was just a little what is it? A edible image on a red velvet cake. But I have to tell you, the best red velvet that you will eat, hands down.
Oh,
And I have to tell y'all, I'm gluten intolerant, and I'm eating the red velvet cupcake today, and I know I'm not supposed to. But yeah, the red velvet you eat, yeah, hands down.
And that is so hard to make. I have a recipe from my mother for red velvet cake.
Yes.
That darn icing is so hard to make. It's like rubber and you're beating it and beating it.
Well, I use a cream cheese frosting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I use a
cream cheese frosting.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yes. So I have my own little technique that I've been doing. So it's like second nature to me.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my joy.
Well, are you thinking about making a cookbook?
It's on my list. I'm gonna tell you, I have a book, one called Call to Order. I don't know if my degree is in statistics from the University of Florida. I was a lead statistician at Abbott Labs, a number 40, $30 billion bank. And then I came home and took care of sick people. And so there's surprise events. I've been doing events since I was 12. So I do a lot of things well. I just don't talk to people usually. I just normally just look and smile. So they didn't know I could do anything. Yeah. And I think now they're surprised, right? Because I never said much, but my people were dying, right? Yes. So in my mind, I thought if I stayed, they were going to get better, but they were sick and dying. And I didn't realize, well, of course, I'm not God. I didn't realize they were going to pass away.
Yeah.
So I spent eight and a half years taking care of my family. And then I had kids and they were sick. And it's my book called Order. It's not, my life really had to be rebuilt because I had a Tony life in Dallas and no kids and top of the world. And I live a life that most people only dreamed of. And then I'm here in little podunk Citrus County, back where I grew up, and my people are sick and everything is gone. Right. So I really had to start over. Yeah, no words. And it's 30 or 40 years behind social norms. And so being a Black woman here with the credentials that I have and the crafts and talents that I have, they didn't believe it. So I just quit talking. And so now that I've been here 20 years and they see, they're like, oh my gosh, yes, I do cakes. They're couture cakes and they're wonderful. And I do these things. And so their minds are blown because I didn't say anything. But it wasn't for me to say anything, right?
You know, I have to ask you, have you ever heard of a sheep cake, a lamb cake?
Mm-mm.
It comes from Pennsylvania. My daughter's husband is Polish.
Okay.
And I think it came in, because of the Polish people, but it's like a lamb. And I make them every Easter.
Okay.
And I put coconut, that's the fur,
yes,
and make a little face for the lamb, but I'm amazed at how many little different types of cakes and desserts you can find here and there,
Yes, yes.
you know.
Hmm.
Well, it has been such a pleasure.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for having me.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, appreciate your
Well,
time.
maybe we need to get you at the cemetery when all those people arrive to get cooking recipes. Seems
Yeah.
like you're all
It's a
that
well-known.
recipe, and you say that's my grandmother's recipe,
Yeah.
and she's here at the
Yes,
cemetery.
yes,
You know,
yes. Are you? Is it Bev?
that
Are you
does
Bev?
translate.
Are you Bev? Your name?
I don't know.
What's your name?
You're Susan.
Susan.
Yeah.
Susan.
It's Suzanne.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Suzanne,
Okay,
sorry.
Suzanne. So that's what we do. Yes, because when we do at the cemetery,
Yeah.
we make the food. We don't
Well,
buy it. We make.
You can share
Yes.
that information because that's
Yes.
passed down. You know.
Yes, and that's where the love. Come on, we can talk real loud. That's where the love comes in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the food.
Well,
Yeah.
then write it down. You
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
we do. We make the food,
can.
right?
Well,
Because when in our culture, you know, when you come to our homes, you have a meal, right? So yeah, they know. So our we make so this at the cemetery. So everybody knows. Yeah, that's a part of the
Do you
culture.
do,
and that is something you can keep. You know, I think that's what Deb was meaning. This
Yeah.
idea of a family tree is a little tricky. You know,
yeah,
people came
Right.
from Africa.
Yeah.
love
This
recipes.
is more now. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
so.
You know what I put instead of family? Maybe we'll do a recipe book. It might be time for a recipe book.
Please keep
I'm
us
gonna-
in
I'm gonna
mind.
And I'm going to send you the memorial panels because let me just tell you, when we did the memorial panels, I started with the pictures that I had from the obituaries. Remember, the people are all dead. So I started with the obituaries and then we put them on Facebook and then people started sending the other ones. So when we did the gala, we did the memorial panels and then we made a background wall and then we took pictures. And it was a wonderful, now they're getting involved. This
There
is
you
just
go.
not about our family. It's about the community and now they're getting it.
Yeah.
You have a part in this too, right? So it's getting their
Wow.
buy-in, right? Whereas before they were bystanders. So it's coming together. I know, it's okay. My dog thought it was the
Yep.
door.
It'll just build on itself. I mean, you've got a great start, so just keep rolling,
Yes.
I'm sure. Yes.
Yes,
That's
yes.
awesome.
Yeah. So we're sharing, I call it sharing the love. We're sharing the love and they're getting it. Takes a little while, but for 3 years, I think we've done well. And we just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of morphing, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing with us.
Well, thank you, ladies, and I appreciate your ideas. I have a family Bible storytelling project, the recording booth. I already have family bricks and a recipe book. The family tree is kind of touchy because they don't want, you know, that's
Yeah.
my dad. But the
I think
recipe book,
recipes better.
yeah,
Yeah.
recipe book. But thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't go
I
to the stomach.
watched this Finding Your Roots, and it's really, really hard, Deb.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know,
And I'm going to send you all
here's a
some
nice
things.
Dr. Henry Gates, who is trying very hard with everybody, but they're using celebrities and they're worth
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Everybody can't do this. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to send you all a bunch of things. The website, the PowerPoint for the historical part, the website, the flyer for the cleanup, and the memorial panels. So you all can see.
Well,
Sounds
you
good.
should make a
Busy.
blog with just the recipes, and I think that would be also something to, set
Okay.
up because you can use a Google blog and you can just keep posting and people
Okay, that's
can,
a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's free, so.
Right. Okay. I'll
And
bring
if
that up to my.
they can put a picture with it, you can take a picture of whatever somebody, has. That's another option with that.
That's a good
And
idea.
I'll bring up
The
one thing. when you
pictures
bring up
cost a
recipes.
little, but yeah.
We did a cooking class for the kids in November because I grew up cooking with my mom. So they had their little hat, their aprons, their training and everything, and then we made gourmet cookies for the kids, and they loved it. So again, passing that love of cooking on to the kids. It's okay to the kids. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
we're
great.
doing what we can. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Well, thank you all for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank
Okay.
you.
For your time.
Okay, you all have a beautiful evening.
You too.
You too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Well, that was awesome. Paul, can you finish up the meeting?
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Let's see here. Do we have, we had a couple of people that I guess had to leave,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, if you want, we can rejoin for the board meeting after a short break. And finish up the general meeting.
Alicia, you
Okay.
did get my email about I invited Sanaya and Holly from last year. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
hopefully
just,
next year,
I can
next
fill
week.
everybody in real quick. Our March meeting is basically going to be like a youth alumni meeting. So,
Oh, you've got the district alumni chair sitting right here.
yeah. So,
So we collect them.
that will be, March, April, I think, Malona is working on a speaker, and then, May, we've got, Paul working on a, disaster recovery group for May. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I think we've got the next 3 months, and again, I will put that in the bulletin and keep everybody apprised. Just real quick, I noticed that, yeah, and Dick just sent me a little blurb, and I tried to email everybody back. We have, yeah.
Sorry, that happened to me at 2 in the morning.
Last night, an email came in from a person who's
Two.
no longer a club member and saying that the meeting times have been changed. They had not. So if it doesn't come from me, yeah. I have a feeling that that person's email had been spammed.
Yeah.
But it was all our emails on there, so.
It was all of our emails. I don't
Expect more
know.
spam.
Yeah, and I don't know where that could have come from. I don't want to kind of my thought process go right there for right now.
Yeah.
Just, safe to say that, just if you have any questions, like, thank you, Suzanne, for bringing that to my attention this morning when I got up. It was one of my first emails going, oh, no. So anyway, and then I didn't have.
Well, I'm a late night person, so it's like, oh
Yeah.
my God. And I said, you can't be changing that night. I wanted to thank you, Alicia, and everybody for taking note that my radio show is now 60 years old. I have not been doing it for 60 years, but I appreciate that, there's a lot of coverage of it right now, mostly in German. And so I give you translations, but that newsletter is nice because it's certainly German radio show is not something that Rotary very much is supporting. Right. It's just,
and
I do it.
That's why I'm asking, and I'm very, very happy, Suzanne, that you're sending stuff in. Of course, Dick Schultz always sends updates on the fight with polio. I am going to once again highly encourage everybody in this club to send, doesn't have to be constant, but send me stuff that I can put into the bulletin, because I would love to know what our other club members are doing.
I would love to find out how is Jamaica doing? Were they able to take the money that we were collecting for them and actually do something with it to get them back to speed?
Yeah, that I don't know, that would be worth checking, district, maybe district disaster person.
On the Jamaica front, the Jamaicans had a bond for their island, for the entire country.
Wow.
So in their bond, the way different countries have that type of insurance, and because they do have an at-risk, a realistic at-risk area, it's their GDP. So they were able to get their $63 billion,
Wow.
insurance claim to keep their country running. And then two of the people I work with on ships were Jamaican, and one of them went back home. And he said, it's like any natural disaster, there's like this lane that's destroyed, and then the outside of the lane, everybody's back to normal.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting case because they are so resilient there that those villages that were on the coast that got hit, they're
Yeah.
rebuilding. But a lot of the storm went a little bit to the west, so it
Mhm.
saved where the bulk of the people leave. So I guess it's a rural area that's being rebuilt. But they
Yeah.
did have the country itself did have a bond, so they
Wow.
were able to cash in on that, and then it's just a matter of them getting back to normal commerce.
Thank you so much for that update.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. And on the coattails of that, I would like to welcome our newest club member, Mr. Mark Wilson. Hi, Mark. Nice to see you. If you'd like to say a few words, unmute yourself and welcome aboard. Let's see if I can get you unmuted.
It's still muted.
That's okay. I think he's working on it. Nope. Nope. Still muted.
He may need a little bit of help with Zoom as well.
Yeah. Well, that's, oh, almost had it.
I just figured out how to turn my video on.
Nice to see you, Paul. That's okay.
You know,
Mark. We can-
At the
Hey,
bottom
Mark.
of my laptop, there's a little microphone and it has a line through it. And then you click on it and then it doesn't.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, apparently there's a pop-up at the bottom of the screen, but I don't know how to get it to pop up.
Oh, well, I have a hand mouse, so I can move things around. Mark, do you know in your little screen, in your little window that you're looking at us at, there is also a top right mute. And if you click on mute, it should unmute you.
I think he's using his phone today.
No, that's a bigger screen. You're on a phone, right?
Yeah, I'm on a phone.
The little icons note and say help. Words. And also, I always tell my students, since I teach art, if you take a pad and you draw a chicken, and guess what? You get a chicken. Are
You know, I, and the,
I teach via Zoom, so
oh,
that's
yeah.
I have to talk my student through. I teach painting and drawing.
Wow.
Yes, I do. Looks like he's not on his phone. I mean, he's on his phone, but not on his phone. He's texting. All right. We would love to talk to you, Paul. We certainly welcome you. That didn't help.
Hello.
muted. Oh,
There's Mark.
Hello.
Wonderful. Yes, hello, Mark. Can you also put the video back on?
Oh, you want everything?
I do. Yeah.
But even without the video, you could tell us a little bit
Well,
about.
he got the sound. The video's very close by. That's all right. Well, now we're ready to hear what you have to say, even if we can't see you live.
No, I apologize. I was on my phone to start. If you can hear,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
I was on my phone to start, and I was unsuccessful to use my laptop, but I was able to get on with my iPad,
Good.
and I was able
Nice.
to go on and off, with a picture or live,
Yep.
and I was able to turn on my mic and turn it off, except when you all asked me to.
Isn't that the Murphy's Law?
Yeah,
Well,
that's the
now
way it
what's
goes.
really crazy is I'm, everything is like frozen.
Yeah. You know
Uh,
what? I had a student who had to get art supplies, and she did not know how to turn off the sound on her phone. And her boyfriend and she were fighting while they were driving to the store. That's when the instructor needs
well,
to mute them. But
I will tell you, I'm
it
going
was,
to work
he was
on it.
not
I
very happy, you know.
apologize.
Yeah.
I use Microsoft Teams. I have for 12 years.
Yeah.
So this is new to me, although everyone says, oh, it's much easier.
It is.
It's a learning curve like
Perhaps.
everything else. That's okay.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you.
It's
But-
like
on.
riding a bike.
That's
But why don't you ask me a question or something you'd like me to say, and I'll say a few words.
I forgot where you are, so you need to tell us that.
Georgia.
Well, I live in Georgia, north of Atlanta.
Okay.
We've gone through 2 terrible storms. Our schools have been closed.
Oh,
It's
goodness.
been it's been very.
Did you get snow?
I'm sorry.
Did you get snow?
Oh yes, we got snow. First we have a phenomenon in Georgia. You might have heard it a while ago on news called black ice.
Oh, gosh. Black
That's
ice
the
is
worst.
horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have that in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And we get black ice, and it is the worst.
Treacherous.
The snow is, that's not a problem usually,
Yeah.
but the black ice. So the first weekend we had black ice, and that shut the schools down. Then they opened up after a couple days, and then we got the snow, and everything was fine with the snow, except we had a little problem with black ice again because
Ugh.
it was so cold. And
Yeah.
but everything seems to be okay now, which is good.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I lived in Montgomery for a while, so I know I was close.
But I know Florida. I know Florida really well. I lived in Naples with my wife for quite a while, and I also was in Tampa, and I lived in St. Petersburg, and so and I knew some of the people that started this club that you all are working on when it started in 2005, because you were one of the original
Right.
E
E
clubs.
clubs. Yeah.
Yep.
One of the 10 original, yes.
Yes. So
Very cool.
I've been in Rotary for a bit over, and so I've done a lot of different things, and it's been a lot of fun.
So you must have left when I joined, or were you part? You weren't part of the E Club, or were you? Yes.
Which E club?
Were you part of this club?
No, just I'm brand new.
No. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I started a club. I started a club back in 2012 in Georgia, in 69 10. We're on 50 here. I had 2 that I was working with, and we had the first E club in Georgia. Now, to my knowledge, there's still only one E club in Georgia, but it was the old club that I was involved in, and they decided to vote on the name of the club that's this other club, and it's some Latin name or something. So I didn't quite understand it. So, but we
Well,
still
our
have
youth
the club.
exchange southeast runs into Atlanta, so Atlanta is where a lot of the training now happens. So I'm part of the youth exchange committee of the district. And I've been the strongest recruiter around here. But the graduation in the summer will be in Atlanta. So people come that way from here.
Great. And what
That is
organization?
that's Rotary Youth Exchange Southeast, RYESE.org. So that's what I'm part of. And
You know Burton Blackmeyer?
no, I'm sorry. I don't know the people in Atlanta. I met them once. I was there only once, but I do the stuff here in the district
Right.
in
Great.
Florida. So, but Tampa doesn't do youth exchange. It's all shifted. Jacksonville got out, and so we are headed. We're connected to your area. So interesting.
Yeah. Georgia has an interesting. They are involved in youth exchange, but of course, that's pick and choose. And then they have something that they started after World War II that Rotary International has allowed them to the Georgia Rotary Student Program.
Yeah. Well, they have 10 candidates. We have 6. And so there will be 16 students that are going to leave our country, and we'll have 16 here from these other countries. So it'll be nice. So
Yeah.
I am vetting and taking care of the students that are going out from us. And I'm trying to give them some of the experiences that they're going to go forward to, like taking our girl that's going to Thailand to a Thai breakfast at a temple. We have a little golden Thai temple in our area. And so those are the kinds of things I'm offering up. And so it'll be interesting to see how they first see Thai food, never having had any. So, and next week we'll have Alexa, and Alexa will be going to Brazil for a year. So she's a alumna from the S4TL program, and she's a youth exchange candidate that our club is sponsoring outbound to Brazil.
Wow.
So she'll spend the year as of August in Brazil.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you'll meet her next
when
week.
you come
Next
to
month.
Atlanta, you'll have to let me know, and I'm hoping that I can introduce you to Burton Blackmeyer, who does what you do. Maybe not to the extent that you do, but he is very active in the north of Atlanta. 6910 basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. And I am not on the board, so I am going to be saying goodbye because all these lovely people, since I got that at 2 a.m. in the morning.
That's the long one.
What
Paul,
you
do you
need
want
for
to
your
go
board
ahead
meeting?
and let's go with the 4-way test?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and close this out. And I guess we'll take a 5 and all that. The 4-way test, the things we think, say, and do. Number 1, is it the
Is
truth?
it true?
Is it the truth?
Number 2, is it fair to
fair
all
to all
concerned?
concerned?
And number 3, will it build
Build
goodwill
Better
and
friendship.
and better
friendship.
friendships? And number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And I think there's a 5th one, but I keep forgetting it.
No.
And we will have fun.
Have
Have a good evening, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Take
Yeah,
care.
I guess we'll come
Bye-bye.
back. The board can come back.
Thanks,
in
Mark.
about-
Take care, everyone.
Take care, Mark.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
Board
Hi,
can
Mark.
come back in about, what, 3 minutes?
Alicia, do you
Yeah.
want me to come to
You're on the board, dear.
Okay, I'm here.